Okay, so we are recording. Thank you everyone for being here today. My name is Sarah Vatch. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am one of many study abroad advisors in the study abroad office. I'm so excited to have you all here today to talk about study abroad opportunities in the Netherlands. I will be honest, my presentation is pretty straightforward. So after I go through the slides and talk a little bit about each of the programs, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I am going to show you some pages on our website and some other websites so you know what to do next, and then we're going to answer some questions. So I just wanted to give you all a little context to how our session is going to run today, and yeah, I appreciate you all being here today. So for those who've just joined, I'm going to go ahead and get started, but my name is Sarah Vatch. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm one of the advisors, and you are in the right place. Today we're going to talk about the Netherlands. Sorry, I accidentally clicked the button that makes it goes the other way. So you're in the right place. You're here to talk about and learn more about opportunities in the Netherlands today. If you have not done so already, I would encourage you to follow us on social media. We are on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and Pinterest, and we do have a YouTube channel as well where you can connect to all these great recordings and presentations, and we are at Study Abroad UCSD. So give us a follow if you haven't already, and once you go abroad, please tag yourself so we can follow along with your adventure as well. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So without further ado, there is a lot to learn when it comes to studying abroad. So today I'm really focusing on the Netherlands, the programs in the Netherlands, what it's like there, the various opportunities you have to study. So we don't necessarily have time to go into all the intricate details of the program. So I hope if you have not done so already, you have attended or watched our Get Started videos, which are on our website. We also have a new Canvas course, which it should not take you very long. It's about 10 to 15 minutes, going over the various ways that you can study abroad. And there's a cute little quiz at the end. Don't worry if you get any wrong, you can still study abroad. But this is just to test your knowledge of the study abroad opportunities that are out there. I'm going to go over all of them today, but I do want to make sure, if you haven't done so already, that you scan this QR code so you can have it as a reference point. We're not expecting you to memorize everything that we talk about today, so please save this link so that you can have something to go back to if you need reminders about what the various programs are. So in no particular order, we have our UC San Diego Global Seminars. We have the UCEAP Education Abroad program, which is the UC's system-wide study abroad provider. So they serve UC students across California and have relationships with universities abroad. And then we have our Global Exchange program, which are relationships that UC San Diego has with universities around the world. This is a growing program, so you're going to see variation in the types of programs and what is offered, because some of these are newer, like our Global Exchange, and some have been around for over 60 years, like UCEAP. Our Global Seminars are UC San Diego classes that are taught abroad by UC San Diego faculty and professors. These are really amazing opportunities to study abroad over the summer, and they've been around for, I think, almost 20 years. So there's a lot of variation and programs for you to choose from. But for more details, please scan the code so you can get even more background in depth that perhaps I don't cover today, and you can follow up. All right, so we're here to talk about the Netherlands today, so let's get into it. So why study abroad in the Netherlands? It's not only for these groovy yellow wooden shoes, but also there are so many exciting opportunities. You can study abroad in the Netherlands through, right now, our Global Seminars program, UCEAP, And in the future, global exchange, not right now, but soon, and other providers that offer programs in the Netherlands. So what makes the Netherlands exciting is there are a diversity of universities. You can study in Utrecht or Wageningen or Maastricht and Amsterdam. The Netherlands is not a big country, which I'll show you on the next slide. So it's very easy to see a lot of the country, and it's nearby to Germany and Belgium if you would like to travel and see more of Europe. There's a wide range of academic areas and options for study. The Netherlands has programs that focus on psychology and cognitive science, has a thriving biology program in Utrecht. There's also renowned art and interesting history. So the humanities are, there's just an array of subjects that you can take while you're there. There are also great opportunities to study not only with other international students like yourself who are studying abroad, but also local Dutch students. So you have this, this chance to meet other Dutch people, learn alongside them, and that just adds to this experience of studying abroad. There are also research and internship opportunities, as well as taking classes in English with Dutch students. So the Netherlands offers students the opportunity to take your courses in English in a non-English speaking country. What you'll find in the Netherlands, though, is a very high percentage of locals who speak English. So while it is always a great idea to learn common phrases, say hello and goodbye and thank you, and other things in Dutch, you will get very far with English. Dutch people begin to learn English at about age 9. So navigating around the Netherlands in that aspect will be quite easy. So now we're going to get into some featured programs in the Netherlands that align with the programs that I mentioned before. I also want to mention the reason I used orange and blue in my slides today is a cultural reference. The Netherlands has a royal family. They are called the House of Orange. So even though the Dutch flag is blue, white, and red, or red, white, and blue striped, you will see orange everywhere. If you are a football or soccer fan, you will notice that Dutch people will be in the stands wearing a sea of orange, and that is why. So in case you've always wondered why when you maybe watch Dutch sports, whether it's the Olympics or the World Cup, you see a lot of orange, it's because of the royal family, even though their flag is red, white, and blue. So today I wanted to show you a little map of the Netherlands. It is not a large country, but there is a lot to see and do there. You may know the Netherlands as Holland, and Holland is actually just one province in the Netherlands. So even though it is a common reference to say, oh, I'm going to Holland, Netherlands is the country, and Holland is a popular province in the Netherlands where you'll find Amsterdam, Utrecht, and some of the popular destinations where students study and also people visit. So you're not wrong to call it Holland, of course, but it's always good to have this background as you learn about where you're going. So the three, for UCEAP, the three cities that they are in are Utrecht, Maastricht, which you can see in the southern part of the Netherlands. It borders Germany and Belgium. Utrecht is more centrally located. It is about a half-an-hour train ride from Amsterdam, which is, of course, the city most people are familiar with in the Netherlands. And then we have a program in Wageningen. I'm trying my best there. This is being recorded, so I hope Dutch people are not offended by my pronunciation of that. There's also a university there, and as you can see, it's also fairly close to Utrecht, so not too far from each other. I once drove from about Amsterdam to Maastricht, and it took about 2 hours. And as you can see, that's from not the highest point of, or the most northern point of the Netherlands, but you know, we were able to travel very far and not a lot of time. So I wanted to point out where you are going and kind of see it on a map. And as you can see, the Netherlands is very close to the North Sea. You can easily from Amsterdam, it's about a 20-minute train ride to go to the beach. It's not comparable to San Diego, a little windier, but you do have a very beautiful coastline. So first, and in no particular order, we are going to talk about UCEAP. So UCEAP is the UC's study abroad provider, as I mentioned. What makes UCEAP a popular option for our students is the array of countries, regions, cities, programs, terms you can study abroad, and the options, just a ton of options for study. In the Netherlands, they have a few programs and they're all pretty distinct, which I think as you continue to do your research, one will kind of feel like the best fit for you. They're similar, but different enough where I think your choices will come quite easily. Another great feature of UCEAP is the courses are UC transferable. So no matter how it fits into your academic plan, which is a conversation you should be having with your college and major or minor advisors, the classes, as long as you pass them, will land on your academic history, and your grades will factor into your UC GPA. That happens automatically because it's a UC structured program. So let's get into your options. I say immersion because what immersion means is you are studying at the university alongside local and international students. There are two programs in Utrecht, which is that centrally located university that is nearby to Amsterdam. You have University College Utrecht and Utrecht University. So UCU, which University College Utrecht is known as, is a small honors college in the city. It has under 1,000 students. You live on campus. There are a lot of humanities and social science classes, as well as other disciplines. If you want a smaller, more intimate university, like UCU is definitely it. UU in comparison is a much larger institution. It is scattered throughout the city. You will live in residence halls, dormitories, or apartments that are throughout the city. Housing can be challenging for Utrecht University, but students figure it out. They give you lots of tips and tricks to navigate and locate housing. And it is a much larger institution. At Utrecht University, you take your classes in blocks. 1 second, I must mute for 1 second. My apologies. Hello, I'm so sorry about that. So UCU is, Utrecht University is scattered throughout the city. It's a much larger institution. So I once had a student who studied at UCU and she said, oh, I could just roll out of bed and into my class, basically, because you live right there. Where you will be commuting in the city to get to your classes. Their classes are in a block system where you take a couple classes per block, which can be really nice. You also have a similar structure to that of UC San Diego, where you have a lecture, but you also have discussion sections. So it may go from a bigger class to a smaller session with your teachers. As I mentioned earlier, biology is very popular at Utrecht, psychology, lots of sciences, and humanities. The university offers a lot. So this can be a really great opportunity for students who, if you want to take some major classes and mix it up with potentially some GEs or just classes out of interest, you are allowed to do that as well. I'll check the chat in just a minute. So if you want to just hold your questions till the end, or I'll read them then and we can go over them. So Maastricht is the university that is in the most southern part of the Netherlands and borders Belgium and Germany. I actually had a student go there years ago, a computer science engineer, and she told me she would go on runs in the morning and she would run to a different country because it was only about 30 minutes to Germany. So I thought that was a fun little reference point for students. Maastricht has a variety of programs, as you can see. So there's University College Maastricht. There's a program that focuses on business and economics. There is a program offered during the fall semester that focuses on biological and life sciences. And then there's a program, Psych and Neuroscience, which is fall semester or spring quarter. UCM, University College Maastricht, and the Business and Economics program run the full academic year, fall semester, or spring semester. And I should mention, those are also the terms of UCU and UU and Utrecht. You have that fall, spring, or year-long option. The limitations are noted in parentheses on the other programs. The feature of Maastricht that I think is brilliant and something our students find very attractive when they're choosing programs is the problem-based learning method, or PBL. So as you're doing your research on the programs, you might see PBL listed about Maastricht, and it is the problem-based learning method. So what Maastricht, their style of teaching is that you are in a seminar. I would say max 15, they say 12 to 15 students, maybe a few more. And it's seminar style learning. You're sitting around a table, maybe drinking some coffee or tea. Coffee is a very big thing in the Netherlands. And you are really discussing the topic at hand. You might be presenting to one another. It's a very interactive, dynamic way of learning. The student I mentioned who ran on her morning runs would run to Germany. She was a computer science and engineer, and she said she was kind of nervous learning engineering in a different country after being so used to UC San Diego. And she said it blew her mind how different it was, but exhilarating to learn engineering in this way. It was very collaborative. Everybody was really learning from one another. So that's just an example in engineering. I had a student who was a biology major, and she said for her bio classes, the problem-based learning method was interesting, but with science, there is an answer. So for her, it felt like there were less discussions about philosophical discussions necessarily on certain topics in biology, whereas in more of her social science classes, she said the conversations and discussions they were having were interesting on different levels. So I love to share that about Maastricht because it is so unique and different. For those of you who are starting out at the university, you're going to find that your classes are quite large. So to have the opportunity to be in a smaller class atmosphere is a really nice opportunity. You have an array of courses to take at UCU, UU, and Maastricht. In the biological and life sciences and the psych and neuroscience class, the class options are limited because it is a specialized program. You don't have the full curriculum to choose from. I'm going to go into Wageningen University, which if you study abroad in the Netherlands, you will be saying that much better than me. It is a science and engineering focused university. To give you a reference point, it used to just be open to UC Davis students because they have a very strong agriculture and food science program, but they do offer a lot of other science and engineering classes, in particular environmental. So if that is your interest, this university could be a really great fit for you. And it is also fall, year, and spring option. And then we have a great summer option in the Netherlands, again in Maastricht. CES stands for the Center for European Studies. So it is a program just for study abroad students. But there is quite a variety of classes, including STEM and humanities. So these can be really great options for students who really want to mix it up over the summer. Maybe you have, I know medical ethics can be a requirement for some of you depending on your majors. So this can be a really great option. I'm going to peek at the chat because I'm going to move on to a different program type, and perhaps this will answer. Okay, these are some great questions. So CES, I'm sorry I didn't answer that or say that in the beginning. Excuse me. It stands for Center for European Studies. So it is a study center within the University of Maastricht. It does focus on students who are studying abroad. The student who took engineering courses in Maastricht did the University College Maastricht, not one of the CES programs. And the difference between themed and immersion is with immersion, you are studying at the university alongside local and international students. With more thematic programs, they're usually limited to students who are studying abroad, whether it's from, I mean, really it could be from all over the world, just not necessarily local students. So we're really excited. Last year, this program was not offered, but it was 2 years ago. In the Netherlands, we have 2 amazing professors in the Urban Studies and Planning Department who are teaching Sustainable Planning, Development, Design in the Netherlands. It will be in Amsterdam. I should have put that on this slide. I did not. This is a UC San Diego Global Seminar. So Global Seminars are UC San Diego courses that are taught internationally and in parts of California as well. I shouldn't totally say that. This program is open not only to urban studies and planning students, but students who are just interested in whether it's the location or the subject matter. For global seminars in general, they may say urban studies and planning, or the topic might be Ravel in Rome, but the classes are really open to every student. They just are developed with certain professors, and so it will fulfill certain requirements, whether it's doc or humanities, but it really is open to all students. So if there's one that is interesting to you, please don't shy away because you're not a Ravel student or you're not a Marshall student. You can still participate. Global seminars are offered over the summer. You take 2 classes and it's over the course of 5 weeks. The majority of the global seminars are offered summer session 1, although a couple are summer session 2. So when you're on the website, it'll go into all the details about which session it's offered. There are info sessions for all of the global seminars, not just this one in Amsterdam. But if you scan the QR code, it will take you to the global seminar. It will take you directly to the website for this particular global seminar in Amsterdam, and to the details for the info session where you'll meet the professors, you'll go over the syllabi, what housing is like, the cost of the program. Everything is developed within the global seminars team. So these programs are the cost is lined out, you know the courses, what you see is what you get. It is a UC San Diego class, so if you're an urban studies and planning student and you need this class, then that will roll over into your requirements. If you would like to petition this for another requirement, then you will need to talk to your advisors, whether it's your college or your major, your minor. But because it's a UC San Diego class, the grade is going to factor into your GPA and be on your record. This is a really amazing opportunity in Amsterdam with 2 professors who are very, very familiar with the Netherlands. They're well connected with professionals in the city. You're going to go on some really amazing excursions outside of Amsterdam, have some overnights in other locations to learn about sustainable planning and development in other cities. Some of you may know Netherlands is underwater if it weren't for their great engineering. So we can learn a lot from Dutch engineers and how they sustain in a climate that is changing, and engineering that is, changing as we speak as well. So this is a really great opportunity. Global seminars are open until full. It is a limited number of students. So this is also a great opportunity to be in a small class with renowned faculty from our university. So most global seminars max at about 28 students. So this is a great opportunity to not only meet other students, but connect with faculty, which otherwise can be a difficult thing to do at UC San Diego because the classes can be so big. Again, 5 weeks over the summer. Applications open November 1st and are open until full. The hard deadline is March 1st. At this time, there are not any global exchange programs in Amsterdam, but there are some programs in the works, so please keep your eye out for those. There are, though, other UC campuses that offer summer study abroad programs in the Netherlands. So today I took a quick peek. UC Davis has their version of a global seminar in Amsterdam, as does UC Santa Cruz. So if you don't see what you're looking for, or you want to add to your research, the other UCs have their summer programs as well. It's UC credit, and you do apply directly through that campus. And like our website, they provide all the details of the program because they are built in-house, and they can help you understand those programs. The only one to look out for as far as dates is Berkeley, because they're on the semester system. Their program might start before we're done here at UCSD on the quarter system. But other than that, these programs, like our global seminars, they're open to all students. So are the other UC campuses. So if you don't see what you're looking for, you're just curious what is offered at the other UCs, please check out their websites. A very popular question of our students is financial aid and scholarships, and I'm happy to report that financial aid is available for all study abroad programs. So if you receive financial aid, your financial aid will go with you abroad. It may change depending on the program and the cost, but if you receive financial aid and you go on a UCEAP program, all your aid will go with you to study abroad. Summer aid is a little bit different, but it uses, so if you wanted to go abroad next summer, the financial aid office is using your award from this past year. We have an array of financial aid and scholarship workshops. So if you go to our website and click on financial aid, those are all listed with the links to join. There are also scholarships. Those applications will be due in the new year, usually in the spring. UCEAP has scholarships, Global Seminars has scholarships, as well as our office. We can also talk to you as you think about programs and what's important to you. There are programs that are very expensive. There are programs that are more affordable. The global exchange programs really compare with UCSD costs. So there are a lot of variations of programs and things to consider that may help you in your decision-making on programs. I will say over $800,000 has been awarded to our students for study abroad. So please put yourself out there for the scholarships, because our students are awarded quite frequently, especially we're a top producer for the Gilman Scholarship, which is a national award. It is for Pell eligible and Pell recipients. So if you're a Pell student and you want to study abroad, please come speak to us. We also have a financial aid advisor who works with our office. His name is Eduardo. He is at drop-ins on Fridays from 10 to 11:30. You can also meet with him in an appointment, and he has his email address, which you can send inquiries to as well as reach out to him through the Virtual Advising Center. So there's lots of great ways to learn about your financial aid, understand it even more, and feel more comfortable about the decisions you're about to make as you embark on a study abroad experience. I'll admit, it is not always that we're going to get all the money to pay and make it a free experience. However, it is understanding our financial aid in a way perhaps you never have, to feel comfortable in learning about what the loans are, what the financial aid is, what are the scholarships, how will this impact me, how do I save, and we're here to support you with that. Here is a link to all of our events that are coming up. So I think I'm the second event that we've had so far. We had a get started session earlier today, but please scan this code. This will take you to the page where you may have found the link for my session, but also the global seminar sessions, more get started if you want a little bit more background about what all the various programs are, and a link to the financial aid and scholarship sessions, which I hope you will all attend. We also have a really exciting fair, a study abroad fair that we call Expo. That will be on Monday, October 23rd from 10 to 2 in Town Square. And Town Square is a space right by Yogurtland. And actually that's where our entrance will be. So if you know where Yogurtland is, you will find us. It is going to be very UC centric at our study abroad fair this year. So if you've been in the past, we've had providers from outside the UCs, but this year we're really going to focus on UCEAP, global seminars, global exchange, ways to get involved internationally on campus, as well as some study abroad returnees who will be there to talk to you about their experience as well. So what's next? You're probably in the information gathering phase. Maybe I'm just one of many info sessions that you're planning on attending, but I wanted to really encourage you to continue research. I know it can be very overwhelming. I want to study abroad, and there's so much out there. So please visit us during our drop-in advising sessions, which are Mondays and Thursdays, 1 to 3 p.m. and Fridays, 10 to 11:30. You can always send us questions through the Virtual Advising Center. And we have a ton of resources on our website. So whether that are sessions that have been recorded or recorded in the past, we have information about identity and diversity. We have all of our application deadlines, resources on how to apply, and ways to stay in touch. So we really hope that no question will go unanswered for you and that you reach out to us in the best way. And that is my presentation, but I wanted to show you a few things on our website. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing for just a second. And before I move on, is there anybody that has any questions that I can answer before we look at some of the resources on our website? I'm happy to answer some questions. And feel free, you can throw them in the chat, or you can just go ahead and unmute as well. Caroline, thank you so much for that question. Is it possible to study abroad your sophomore year? Yes, absolutely. If this is your first year, whether you're a new freshman or transfer student, you can study abroad as soon as next summer, absolutely, or next year. What I will point out in a minute are the eligibility requirements. So depending on the program, like our global seminars, a lot of UCEAP, eligibility is your GPA. So if you have a 2.0 and you're in good standing, you can participate in that program as soon as next summer or next fall or next year, if you want to do the academic year program. Some programs do require that you are junior standing or that you've completed certain eligibility requirements. So for example, with the Netherlands, there's the business and economics program or the biological and life sciences program. They do want to see that you've taken upper division courses within your major, and they do have a higher GPA requirement for those programs. So yes, you can study abroad as soon as sophomore year. And just please pay close attention to those eligibility requirements. There was a question about the recording. I will post this by the end of the week. You got it, Caroline. Any other questions before I show you some resources on our website? Okay, well, we'll have a moment at the end as well, so have no fear. All right, let me share my screen. All right, so the first thing I wanted to show you was our website. How many of you, by show of hands, have been to our website? Yay! Okay, I'm seeing lots of hands. Thank you. Thank you for finding our website. We have so many amazing resources here, and one in particular is Tritons Abroad. So I want to point out Tritons Abroad because this is our in-house application system. This is where you will apply solely for global seminars. So if you're interested in a global seminar or you're interested in global exchange, you are going to go through Tritons Abroad. If you are interested in a UCEAP program, you're going to apply in Tritons Abroad and also on the EAP website here. You're going to click on that Apply Now, sign in, and apply for your programs. So I wanted to point that out because it is often that students forget, especially for UCEAP, because you have to do both. The others, it's just one. students will forget Tritons Abroad or they'll forget UCEAP. So please, please make sure that you have done both. UCEAP, the system does not open until November 1st. So you can begin and get started on Tritons Abroad. And then when November 1st opens, you can jump into EAP, or you can do them simultaneously, kind of like me having these tabs open. You can toggle back and forth and complete your application. When we're reviewing applications, we are making sure you have submitted both. So especially for competitive programs, it is important that you are on top of this, okay? And how you know it's competitive is if we scroll down here and we go to our events and deadlines page, you will see some application deadlines here. We UCEAP advisors in the study abroad office, we set the deadlines for the UCEAP programs. And as you can see, we've made notes. So you can see which term, when it opens, the Tritons Abroad application, the EAP application, and when the deadline is. So some are rolling deadlines where the program will be closed once it's full. Some, there are not these limitations. So as for like Australia, for example, but I should use Netherlands as an example because here we are with our Netherlands presentation. Kevin, I will be right with you, my friend, unless that's just from before. As you can see, the Biological and Life Sciences program, that is a impacted program. We are limited on spots, so we wanted to add a note there. Maastricht Business, Maastricht Summer do not have those limitations. So as you're researching your programs, please reference the deadlines page, especially for UCEAP programs, because these notes are going to impact, I'm sure, how you're applying to programs. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out to you. I also wanted to, let's go back to our main page here. We have a lot of great resources. If you have not done so already, please click on the Get Started link to learn more about the programs or have a refresher. We know there's a lot. And like I said, we're not here to quiz you. We really want you to understand the different programs. So when you meet with us in advising, you can really have your questions answered because you have that background, and then you can just really have those specific questions answered. Exploring programs, that's going to take you to the various programs we offer. So I briefly went over the sustainability program through urban studies and planning with the Global Seminars in Amsterdam. Global Exchange, those are bilateral partnerships that we have with international institutions. UCEAP, that was the big slide that had the programs in Utrecht and Maastricht. OAP is something that if you do not find what you're looking for in any of our programs, please come speak with us. The Opportunities Abroad program are non-UC based programs. They may offer what you're looking for, so please talk to us and we briefly discuss the other UC campuses. Virtual study abroad is something that, as you can imagine, came up during the pandemic and is slow. While it still exists, they are, a lot of those programs are ending because study abroad is back and abroad, not virtually. So I wanted to show you the Find a Program page. I also want to show you the financial aid and scholarships page. This is where you're going to get many more details on financial aid, how to use it, how it applies to the different programs. And our financial aid advisor, Eduardo, built out this page. So it's beautiful. It has all the information. Information on scholarships. We have some recorded sessions and some other resources for you. And just some other great resources on the side here. If after this session, you're absorbing it, you're taking it all in, you've got a lot more questions for me or any of my colleagues, please join us during virtual drop-in advising. We are solely virtual at this time. You can also always send us a message through the Virtual Advising Center or VAC. And in some cases, we may make an appointment, but first, please meet with us so we can talk to you about your questions and where you're at and see if we need that more time. That is kind of all I have today. I really wanted to point out our website and where to apply. and the resources that we have here so that you know where to find them and what to do once you're ready to apply. I know you all can do it, but I also understand it can be very overwhelming. And I don't just say that because I'm not just saying it, it's because I've met with so many students who are just wondering where to begin. So I wanted to provide that info for you today. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing and just be here to answer questions for you all today. Yes, the slides may not be posted, but the recording will be. Perhaps I'll post the slides as well. Can you apply for more than one program? That's a great question. Not at a time during the same term, but you can study abroad multiple times. And then of course you can file an application for fall and spring if it's different programs. The reason we don't want you to apply to one program at a time is because it can get confusing. If we're in there and we're processing applications, we may not know which one you want to submit. If for whatever reason you don't get into a program, there will be time to apply to another program. Of course, you can get started on an application, but please only submit one at a time. And then if you find out and it doesn't work out, then we can apply to the next. The majority of programs don't have these limitations or limited spots. Most programs have many spots for many students. So just by talking to us and meeting with us and advising, we can help clarify that for you. And of course, it's also notated on that application deadlines that I pointed out. Any other questions today? Feel free to throw them in the chat, or I'm happy to talk about them. Our students really enjoy studying abroad in the Netherlands. Something that is a highlight is the amazing public transportation, riding a bike, its proximity to other European locations. So traveling and seeing a lot when you're there can be quite easy for our students. There's major train stations and a very large airport if you are traveling. I think too, the array of courses and diversity of coursework and programs is very attractive to our students. And also that the English is readily spoken, so navigating through the country is very manageable as well. And there's lots of great cheese. Who doesn't like cheese?
I have a question.
Yes, Alex, yes.
So what do people usually do with their housing when they're gone?
That's a fantastic question. So if you live on campus and you know you're studying abroad, I believe they'll ask you, housing will reach out to you at a certain point to secure for the upcoming years. So if it allows you to choose winter or spring, and you're going to be gone fall, for example, then you would do that. To be honest, I don't know how it works. I'm making that up. But if you are gone fall and you need housing for winter or spring or both terms, housing and dining allows our students to put themselves on the wait list for housing, and they're usually at the top because they understand you're studying abroad. You don't have your pick of where there is opening for housing. In my experience, I have not had a student come back after studying abroad and say they could not find a place to live. So I think with the natural flow of housing on campus, our students are always placed to live somewhere upon return. If you live off campus, then of course it's your responsibility to find somebody to sublease or find housing when you come back. But housing and dining services, HDH, they're going to be your best resource. That's how it works. We also have students who really enjoy or want to live in iHouse when they return. And iHouse has 2 application cycles, fall and spring. And iHouse is where all the students who are studying abroad at UC San Diego live. So when our students go abroad, they really crave that international experience when they come back. So you can apply to live in iHouse as well. Avani.
So I'm looking at your website right now, and if you click on a certain location, it doesn't really mention housing at all. So how do you know whether the housing is included on campus or whether you have to find alternative housing?
Yes. So were you on the UCEAP website?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so under housing, it will usually say apartments or homestay or guest housing. So in Maastricht, for example, students stay at a guest house. So it's like a hostel, but it's only for students who are studying abroad, and it's nearby to campus. Well, actually in Maastricht, it's kind of scattered about as well, but it doesn't take very long to get there. So we've had students live there, and sometimes depending on the program, you can opt to find your own housing too. So it just kind of depends on the program. I think UCEAP does their best to go into as much detail as they can, but they don't always have all the details. It's when you're further along in the process that you'll get more links and information about the process. And on the website, you might just get a generality of what the housing is like. So unfortunately, they don't always get so many details. With the Global Seminars program in Amsterdam, that is because it's a limited summer program. All the housing is figured out before you even go. So you know you're staying where you're staying and what the accommodations are like. It's much more upfront. Whereas with UCEAP, you may not know exactly where you are yet, but you know you'll have like the opportunity of an apartment, or if any kind of campus affiliated housing is available. I hope that helped, Devani. Any other questions today? Okay, well, that's all I have. I will hang around if anybody just has something they would like to ask, but I will be available Thursday afternoon at drop-ins if you want to talk about any of the programs in the Netherlands in more detail. And I look forward to supporting you on your study abroad journey. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you very much for the information.
Oh, you're so welcome. I hope it was helpful, and please don't be a stranger. I'm here to support you.
Thank you. I also had another question.
Yes, of course.
I just submitted my CES application,
Okay.
and I was nominated, and I was just, I guess, anxious-ish about how likely it is to not get in after being nominated.
Oh, yeah, that's such a great question. So usually you will not be rejected. Our nomination of you is a very good indication that you'll be accepted to the program. So don't be worried. It's typical, but I get it. It feels like, well, what's going to happen next? So just know, just be on top of every. So are you going spring, Alex?
Yeah, this is the spring for the New York
Oh,
Times.
fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. Yeah. So just make sure that you are just on top of everything from CES and UCEAP. What I see is that typically when students, I'm going to just stop